Yo everyone, what is going on? Welcome to the video. Didn't know what I was about to say there. But yeah, welcome to another video, and in today's video I am going to be doing a full day of eating 2,000 calories. And again, these are not my specific calories. I'm not saying that you need to eat these calories in order to reach your goal. But you know, if your calorie goal is 2,000 calories, I want to give you some really good meal ideas to reach that target whilst getting in a lot of protein, whilst getting in a lot of volume, and was getting in a few treats along the way as well. That is key. So yeah, I'm excited to dig into some tasty meals and snacks, some really good ones coming your way. I am sitting here with Bruno at the moment. He's feeling a little bit tired today. He had a rough day yesterday. He was actually on oxygen, and unfortunately it was touch and go for a while, which was mental. It honestly came out of nowhere. So he just got his second puppy vaccination or whatever it is, but for some reason he reacted really badly to it. The vet said it's so rare that it happens, but it sometimes does, and as a result, he was just so weak, he could barely stand, his blood pressure was low, and yeah, we had to leave him with the vets for a few hours, and yeah, we didn't really know what was happening, and I don't think they really knew either. But yeah, thank God he came around. He's doing okay now. He's stable. We had to keep a close eye on him last night. We had to set our alarm every couple of hours and everything like that. Feels like I have a baby. I pretty much do have a baby. But yeah, as I said, I'm just happy he's okay now. Isn't that right, little man? Your little squash face. Also just noticed that I'm randomly bleeding for some reason, which is nice. Love it when that happens. But yeah, meal number one is gonna be protein porridge, but I've honestly changed the game again with protein porridge. So this is honestly just a recipe I stumbled upon a couple of weeks ago. I was kind of playing around with some ingredients, and my main aim was to make it more voluminous because, as most of you probably know at this stage, I'm a huge fan of protein porridge. It's probably my favorite thing in the world. But the one issue I have with it usually is that, my appetite is so big. It's ridiculous. So even though I include it in my diet all the time, I am often left still feeling a little bit hungry. So yeah, the goal was to make it a little bit more voluminous without driving up the calories or anything along those lines, and I did exactly that. So let's go. So I'm gonna start by adding 40 grams of porridge oats to a bowl. That is gonna be followed by 4 grams of xanthan gum. I'm gonna add in 1 teaspoon of sweetener. I'm gonna give it all a little mix. That is followed by 150 grams of egg whites. And then next comes the water, and usually when it comes to protein porridge, I like a ratio of 1:4. So for example, if I am adding 40 grams of porridge oats, I usually add about 160 ml-ish of water. But the really good thing is that with the xanthan gum, that is actually just gonna thicken everything. So it allows you to add a lot more water without, affecting the taste really at all. So I'm gonna add 280 ml of water into the mix. And you're probably thinking now, how is all of that water gonna absorb? Just wait. All right, so next I'm gonna put my bowl in the microwave and set the timer for 5 minutes. It usually takes about 4 to 5 minutes for it to be done, but just make sure you keep an eye because it can rise over the bowl really quickly. And as that is microwaving away, I'm gonna add 15 grams of powdered peanut butter to a glass and mix it with water until it forms a paste-like consistency. Okay, so oats are good to go. The bowl is actually really hot, so make sure to be careful of that. And next I am going to add 30 grams of chocolate whey protein in. I am going to give it a mix, and just to give you an idea of the consistency, this is how we are looking. Look how fluffy this whole thing is. It's so good. Then I'm gonna top it with some powdered peanut butter and 15 grams of marshmallows. Okay, first things first, taste test. So yeah, let's talk about the volume first, and honestly, this is huge. This is absolutely huge, and one of the main reasons for that is the egg whites. Egg whites are honestly one of the most voluminous protein sources there are, so by adding 150 grams, you are immediately increasing the size of the meal significantly without adding too many calories, and obviously egg whites are pretty much just pure protein, so it's a good way to get extra protein in as well. And number 2 is the xanthan gum. So xanthan gum is a thickening agent, so that means you can just add more water to the bowl. It's going to absorb it up, and as a result, it's not like you get watery porridge at the end of it or anything like that. As you can see, it is still really thick. So yeah, if you can get your hands on xanthan gum, I keep having to shift this around in my hands because it's so hot. but if you can get your hands on xanthan gum, then I definitely recommend doing so. But if you can't, adding the egg whites alone is going to add a lot more volume. That's actually what I started by doing, and then I started playing around with the xanthan gum as well. And another thing that I really like about this is by adding the egg whites, it makes it a lot less sweet, because sometimes I find when I have protein porridge, it doesn't stop me from having it ever, but it is really sweet. So after it, I am still kind of hungry, and I've kind of built up that sweet craving. So with the egg whites, it slightly neutralizes the taste, and you just kind of feel more satisfied after the whole meal. Okay, so it is lunchtime and I'm going for something quick. I'm going for something easy. It's delicious, and most of all, it is so filling as well. Like, if you had this meal that I'm about to have and the protein porridge that I just made in the same day, you would be absolutely sorted. You would not feel hungry for at least 4 weeks. So I'm gonna start by adding 100 grams of 5% fat beef mince to a pan. That is gonna be followed by half an onion that I've chopped into little pieces. And as you can see, I'm gonna keep the onion and the beef mince separate. And I'm gonna top everything with some sea salt and some smoked paprika, of course. Then when everything is almost good to go, I'm gonna add some spinach to the onion side of the pan. I am going to add 100 grams of chopped tomatoes, and as that cooks away, I'm gonna add 250 grams of egg whites to a bowl. Add some sea salt in here as well. Then I'm gonna add the egg whites into the pan, and then I am going to cover it with a plate because I don't have a lid, and let it cook away on a medium heat until it gets nice and fluffy. Alright, so we are looking extremely fluffy, and I am going to add the final couple of ingredients. So I'm gonna add 40 grams of gherkins. I'm gonna add 20 grams of 30% less fat cheese. And now for the tricky part, I'm gonna fold this baby over and hope I don't screw it up. Alright, I know this is very unprofessional, but I'm gonna use my hands. Oh, that's one. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, there is an art in that, and I have not mastered it, but now I am going to chop the omelette in two and serve this monstrosity up. Okay, so I think, you know, my main bit of advice when it comes to this recipe is perseverance is key. Do not give up. So, you know, when it's on the pan, you're like, I don't know, this looks good. When you fold it, you might mess up the fold. I know I did. I know I probably always will. I'm just so bad at doing that for some reason. If anyone has any tips on folding, comment below and let me know. But yeah, it will always turn out delicious with those ingredients. And most of the time, the kind of messiness of the dish is going to add to it. So, like, do you think I meant this little cheese thing hanging over the edge? Absolutely not. I had no idea that was going to happen. Does it add to the presentation? I think so. Oh, and if you haven't put two and two together yet, this is like a cheeseburger themed omelette, a chomlet. And honestly, it is so good. It is so juicy. You could add some ketchup and maybe some mustard to the top if you wanted, but you know, with these ingredients alone, with the cheese, with the gherkins, I love gherkins, it's tasty and so filling. As I said, like, this is a beast. Alright, so we are absolutely flying. It is dinner time at Casa del J. Clark. And this is a meal. I don't know why I said that twice. That is right up my alley. Like, if Rach turned around on a Friday evening, let's just say, and was like, make us something, this is what I would definitely suggest. She would probably not go for this. She would suggest something else, like a pasta or something. That is kind of Rach. Rach is very Italian in her taste, but this is definitely a specialty of mine. It is so good. But honestly, this beats pasta every single day of the week, in my opinion. Alright, so I'm gonna start by adding 250 grams of chopped up baby potatoes to a Pyrex dish that I've sprayed with some 1 calorie spray. I'm gonna give the potatoes a couple of sprays. Then I'm gonna add some seasoning, so some sea salt. I'm gonna add some Cajun into the mix, some smoked paprika, and some garlic. Then I'm gonna put them in the oven that I preheated to 200 degrees Celsius for about 30 minutes. And as they are cooking away, I'm gonna chop up half an onion into thin slices. I'm gonna chop up half of a red and half a yellow pepper into thin strips. And then I'm gonna chop up 4 smoked bacon medallions, so 120 grams in total, into little pieces. And then when there's about 10 minutes left on your potatoes, you can add your meat and your veg to a pan. Season with some sea salt and some smoked paprika for good measure. Alright, so the potatoes are looking good, and now I'm gonna add in my pan mix. All right, we are looking good. Had to swap Pyrex dish because the other one was too small. Rookie mistake. Then I'm gonna add 15 grams of red jalapenos and 15 grams of green jalapenos into the mix. I'm gonna add 25 grams of 30% less fat cheese and some hot sauce of choice. I'm using 30 ml of Frank's Red Hot sauce. Then I'm gonna put it back in the oven for 10 minutes so the cheese melts and everything comes together nicely. Alright, so restaurants in Ireland are open back up for outdoor dining on June 7th, I think. And if I was served this as my first meal, my first restaurant meal in months, I would be happy out. That's how highly I think of this. This is a game changer. And honestly, it has it all. It's so flexible as well. So for example, like if you are a fan of spice like I am, you could go for the hot sauce. You could go for the jalapenos, but if you're in the mood for something a little bit more on the mild side, you could go with barbecue sauce or something along those lines. Maybe a little bit of lighter than light mayonnaise. That would go down a treat as well. Oh, and I'm trying to think of what to call the meal. What am I gonna call it? So I'm thinking hot and cheesy, hot and spicy, hot and cheesy, bacon loaded potatoes. Hot and cheesy bacon loaded potatoes. Yes. Oh, and if you are a big fan of my meals, then I do want to let you know that there is currently a 15% offer on the Nutrition Hub. So this is a place you get access to every single one of my recipes. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, dessert, you name it. You get access to my personal calorie and macro calculator as well. So you can calculate your nutritional requirements based exactly on your goal. You get access to your very own account on my website that you can track your progress in. And yeah, if you're somebody that struggles in terms of nutrition, who struggles in the kitchen, who doesn't really know how to hit their macros, who doesn't even know how to set their macros, then this is the place for you for sure. So yeah, I'll leave the link to the Nutrition Hub in the comment section, and if you use the code nutrition15 at the checkout, you will get 15% off, and it is for a limited time only. So if you're interested, make sure you do not miss out. All right, so it is time for the final meal of the day. Absolute staple in my diet. Let's go, baby. Okay, so 350 grams, which is the whole tub of this fat-free yogurt. I am going with vanilla flavor. And this one from Lidl is honestly so good for calories and protein. Fat-free yogurt generally is, but in this whole thing, there is 190 calories and over 30 grams of protein. Very good. I'm gonna add 10 grams of whey protein into the mix. I'm going with chocolate. You can go with whatever you like. Mix it all up. I'm gonna add 200 grams of mixed berries to the top. And these are frozen, so I just heated them up in the microwave for like 30 seconds just to defrost them a little bit. And then for those healthy fats, I've broken up 1 square of dark chocolate and I'm just gonna sprinkle it on top. Alright, so obligatory taste test. Alright, so there is a reason this is a staple in my diet, and it is just because it ticks so many boxes. So it tastes unreal. 378 calories, 42 grams of protein, so the calorie to protein ratio is really, really good. It's voluminous as well, it's really filling. The berries are full of fiber, so if you are having this late in the evening, it is very likely that you will go to bed quite full and quite satisfied. And if you have a bit of a sweet tooth like myself, especially in the evening times, it is absolutely perfect. Alright everyone, I'm going to wrap the video up there, but before I do, I want to display my total calories and macros for the day on screen now. And as you can see, I left myself a little bit short of the 2,000 calorie mark, and I've actually done that on purpose because, you know, if you are watching this and you want to get, you know, some inspiration as to how to stay on track with your 2,000 calorie goal, then it's important you give yourself a little bit of flexibility as well. You know, not every single calorie you eat has to be super high in protein or super high in micronutrients or super high in fiber, super healthy in general. And instead, you know, if the vast majority of your calories each day are coming from high quality healthy sources, if you are hitting your protein goal on a daily basis, then I highly recommend leaving somewhere between 10 and 20% of your overall calories on a daily basis to things that you really enjoy. So for example, today I could have had a snack of my choice. It could have been a couple of biscuits, could have been a chocolate bar between breakfast and lunch, and I could have did the very same between lunch and dinner. So yeah, just make sure you give yourself that flexibility regularly, and just remember that balance is absolutely key, because that is what is going to help you stay on track with your diet and make it sustainable, make it into a lifestyle, as opposed to something that you can only follow for like a couple of weeks at a time, because you just find it so difficult to stick to. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you comment below and let me know. Every single comment goes a long way. And yeah, I hope you are all keeping well, and I will see you in the next video.